Join me as I dive into the 3 biggest mysteries of spiritual enlightenment and see if I can uncover the truth behind each one. Spiritual enlightenment is a topic that has fascinated many of us for centuries. It's the idea that we can transcend our limitations, connect with a higher power, and unlock our true potential. But what does it really mean to be spiritually enlightened? And how do we get there? For many, the journey to spiritual enlightenment is a lifelong path of discovery and growth. One of the biggest misconceptions about spiritual enlightenment is that it's a destination. We think that once we've reached enlightenment, we'll be forever wise, compassionate, and at peace. But the truth is that enlightenment is a continuous process. It's not a one-time achievement, but rather a journey of ups and downs, twists and turns. Another misconception is that spiritual enlightenment is only for the select few, the gurus, the monks, the spiritual elite. But the truth is that anyone can experience spiritual growth and enlightenment, regardless of their background or circumstances. Many of us also think that spiritual enlightenment means abandoning our worldly responsibilities and desires. We imagine that enlightened beings are detached, unemotional, and unattached to material possessions. But the truth is that spiritual enlightenment is not about renouncing the world, but about engaging with it in a more mindful, compassionate, and authentic way. And finally, some of us believe that spiritual enlightenment is just a fancy term for feeling good or being happy all the time. But the truth is that enlightenment is not about avoiding pain or difficulties, but about developing the capacity to navigate life's challenges with greater wisdom, courage, and resilience. Let's explore the first mystery of spiritual enlightenment, the paradox of control. On one hand, we're taught that we need to let go of control and surrender to the universe. But on the other hand, we're also encouraged to take responsibility for our lives, set intentions, and manifest our desires. So, how do we reconcile these two seemingly opposing forces? The answer lies in understanding that control is not about manipulating external events, but about cultivating inner awareness, discipline, and self-regulation. The second mystery is the enigma of the self. Who am I, really? Is it my thoughts, emotions, or experiences that define me? Or is there something more fundamental, something that transcends my individual identity? This mystery has puzzled spiritual seekers for centuries, and the answer is not a simple one. The self is both a fixed entity and a fluid, dynamic process. It's both a noun and a verb. The third mystery is the nature of time and space. How do we reconcile the linear, sequential nature of time with the timeless, eternal nature of the present moment? And how do we transcend the limitations of our physical bodies to access higher states of consciousness? These questions have fascinated spiritual seekers for centuries, and the answers are still unfolding. One of the most profound insights about spiritual enlightenment is that it's not about achieving some kind of superhuman state, but about embracing our humanity. It's about recognizing that our flaws, imperfections, and vulnerabilities are an integral part of our journey, and that it's precisely through these weaknesses that we can access greater wisdom, compassion, and love. This insight can be both liberating and terrifying, as it challenges us to let go of our need for perfection and control, and to embrace the uncertainty and messiness of life. The journey to spiritual enlightenment is not about arriving at some kind of final destination, but about embracing the path itself. It's about cultivating awareness, curiosity, and openness, and allowing ourselves to be transformed by our experiences. It's about recognizing that spiritual growth is not a means to an end, but an end in itself, a journey that's worth taking for its own sake. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the mysteries of spiritual enlightenment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic, so please leave your comments below. And if you're interested in exploring more spiritual topics, be sure to check out my other videos.